Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome back for Detox tonight. I hope everybody's doing well and having a nice Sunday afternoon. It's a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. Hey Era, good evening. How the audio sounds. I've gone back to simpler times, the way that we used to do things. I was trying to add some components and introduce some new technology, but I think it just presents too much. I'm fairly tech savvy, so I can normally, hook these things up and make it happen. But I think all the frequencies and the amount of devices using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and then upload speeds. I just went back to our previous settings where, I stream at a lower quality to make sure everybody is getting the feed and, um, got rid of the Google Meets, which I was trying to introduce so that we can interact a little bit more. And Jessica is used to teaching with that as well. And it just seemed to present too many issues that were kind of getting, tangled, if you will, with the experience. And when something like that happens, it's obviously disappointing, but it just interrupts the flow. So you're like, why mess with the flow? So it's a great lesson, always reflecting on these things. But I tried for a couple days, but I think this way and streaming to the YouTube channel and having you guys here on the live chat is the most efficient for everybody and the easiest setup for everybody, no matter where you are in the world. So that's what we're going to continue with for now. I will always try things, of course, and if I can make them work, that's great. If not, we'll, at least we know where we can continue the practice from. Hi, Yale. Of course. So just making sure that the audio quality is not doing that robot voice. It was doing it really since I think we noticed it on Saturday, and then yeah, both classes on Saturday, and then I noticed it in this morning's class as well. Tried changing microphones, and nothing seemed to really seem to work. Alberto, good evening. I'm adding a I'm adding something to my stack. I've pretty much gone with the yoga block the whole time in Detox, and I'm at the studio, and this was kind of tucked away in my office here at the studio, my meditation cushion. So I just brought it, and it's what you do with Detox: bring something and then see if you use it and see if it helps and supports you in some of the positions. But you don't always have to have the plan. You can really just get into these experiences and let the plan go, let the stress of the plan go. Most of the time, if you develop a plan around anything, you have to untether yourself from the plan to actually be in the reality or in the moment of what you're doing. So the plan takes you so far. Really, it's more about, I think, building a functional framework within yourself, understanding yourself, of course, and so kind of learning as we go. That's what humans are pretty darn good at. And the more we open up, and the more we're able to, tread mindfully and not only do things but reflect on the things that we've done, take in information from different sources, put ourselves in uncomfortable situations and situations that we can develop and grow and evolve as a being, then all of that and becomes kind of our tools and our tool belt and for being present and being here. We got about 4 minutes, so if you guys have any thoughts or any questions and you're on the live chat, you're always welcome to put anything out there. If you're happy to just be quiet, I talk quite a bit in these yoga classes, and it really comes from a place of flow and stream of consciousness, if you will. So you could probably tell that, of course, this isn't something that I sketch out and have notes and things like that. But when I first started practicing yoga, I was so much more shy as a student participating in experiences or walking into the studio. I really didn't interact with anybody, my fellow students, and it wasn't that I didn't want to. It's I just kind of walked in, and the teacher would say hi, and I just kept to myself. So I totally get that perspective, and I honor that perspective and that space. And to do anything in this world, you don't have to be the one that's out and acting so boisterous and being right up there and in front. It's always a nice quality to also be a good listener, and sometimes being quiet and being silent helps us really tune in to the things that we're doing and the things we like or the things that we don't like, not necessarily about ourselves, but just in the full bandwidth, if you will, of the awareness of life. There's so many parts to the pie in the life that we're living. You guys that are on, is there anything in your body that is particular sore or anything that you're feeling that you'd like to put out there and see if we can kind of cover that like a blanket during our detox tonight? I know certain practices the other day, I don't know what we got into, but I remember walking out about an hour or two later after the class, and I was like, "Whoo, my hamstrings are really feeling it." Hey Sue, welcome back. Kimberly, checking in with you on the sound. I know you've been having the robot voice experience on the microphone. I think everybody has, but I want to make sure or see if I kind of strip things back to exactly what we were doing before the robot voice started. I took off technology and brought us back straight up to the YouTube with the same microphone setup and disconnected everything else. So let me know if the sound is a bit better. Yeah, top of hamstrings for sure. Sound is perfect. Okay. So it must be a frequency, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi uploading speeds, as far as the internet goes and all of that stuff. And then you got to download it. I upload it. You guys download it. I guess that's the world that we're living in. I'll just throw it up there and then you can catch the ball on your side. Yeah, and I was trying to stream HD quality, which I guess just with as much or as many things that are going up on the internet these days, it's not easy to do. All right, everybody, we got 7:30. So, have your blocks, something to drink, anything else that you might need, and we're going to start lying down tonight on our backs. If you would like anything underneath your head, you are welcome to place any part of your stack underneath your head. If you'd rather have your legs bent when you lie down versus your legs straight, I welcome you to do that. That can be a way to soften or to put some more ease into your low back. Let your knees fall in towards each other. And I would encourage you the same way, whether it's a vinyasa practice or a detox or any other style of practice, that we approach the practice from a place of prana. Well, maybe not a place of prana, because prana is that life force and that energy, but as a kind of way to observe in the prana essence and versus forcing movements or even forcing stillness. This idea of strength, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. When you feel like you have to be emotionally strong for other people, like I can't break or I can't cry, because if I cry, then that's probably going to make that person upset, and because they think that I'm maybe the pillar of strength or that foundation. And so many times we don't allow ourselves to show that true emotion of what we are feeling. Well, for the next hour, I would invite you 100% and to let that idea go. If you carry that around with you at all, if you're the one that needs to be strong or keep it all together, that was never a role that needed to be put on your shoulders from the day that you were born. And I get it, they don't really teach us that along the way. Sometimes I think people have access, but I'm talking about the common thread of teaching or teachings. We're in a world where we like to tell people what they should do versus, allow people and to feel what they're doing, and to be responsible for what they're doing, and to really feel that empowerment and that confidence around, action and decision and choice and all the beautiful things that your mind can do for you in your life. If you're feeling a little bit better in your low back at this point and you want to straighten your legs, you can do that and let your big toes fall out. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Roll your hips a little to the left. And then roll your hips a little to the right. And we're going to sit on the back of the hands. And so your thumbs are all the way underneath the top of your bum. Relax your glutes into the back of the hands. Might want to turn your elbows out a little bit, reset in your head, neck, and your shoulders. And we're sitting on our hands. Sitting on our hands. I can pretty much assure you that no matter what plan you have ever written in your entire life, that any plan ever included the fact that you would be sitting on your hands on a Sunday evening in July. Doubtful. If any of you have a plan that included that, please send it my way. That would be some crazy shit. So when you do certain things, other things come up. You find yourself in an unexpected space, and then more things that were unexpected start to appear. You actually give your nervous system a break, like coming to your mat in the evenings for detox, and then there's less stress that you're holding on to. You might find yourself in, I don't know if we've encountered this, but sometimes people get into laughing fits in detox. They start giggling and they can't stop. I've seen it happen many, many times. I've seen people, also cry uncontrollably, not like the, mature, sophisticated tear running down your face, like ugly cry. And they're trying to stop it because, again, we don't know that we can really express these emotions. And so then it turns into a blubbering belly mess where the belly is just like, looks like you're being electrocuted because you're trying to stop yourself from crying. And so please, even in today's world, cover your nose, please. Use a tissue. But don't stop a sneeze. Don't stop a laugh. Don't stop a cry. And let this flow really go through you. If your eyes are closed after a little bit, it may even feel like your hands are on the front of your hips. But I remind you, you're actually sitting on your hands. Notice if that happened to you. Take a deeper breath, feel your belly rise. As you exhale, slowly bend your legs so that your feet come flat onto the mat. Put a little weight into your feet, lift your bum, slide your hands out, and then release your hips back down onto the ground. Keep your legs bent, turn your palms to face up, and see if you can feel the release of the compression into your hands and your forearms. You remember nights back when we did that compression to the forearm? It's a huge place of releasing emotion. I mean, your forearms are responsible for moving all of your fingers. Just feel the hands here. And keep this as relatively simple as possible. All you do is cross your left leg over your right leg. And you want that left foot to hang out. You bring your knees in towards your chest, and then your right hand grabs onto your left shin. You might have to lift your head, and then your left hand grabs onto your right shin. And keep your hips flat, and fingertips curled over the shins. And then we're letting the shoulders settle. So say you get here, and it's just a bit of a struggle in the tightness or what you're feeling in your body. And then you would want to put something underneath your head. And that'll help keep the hands on the shins. And then even though you might be feeling it in your hips, in your hands, or in your forearms, at least you'll be more likely to stay with the posture. Observe the breath, observe the air coming into your body and out. And then you even start to expand the practice into a representation of meditation while you're in the pose. Things that you may see are, the clear ways that you're really good at pushing things away. Even things that are good for you, you'll push those away too sometimes. And so if you're a pusher, you soften, find some internal landscape to hang out on the kind of park and relax, and that weight that you're carrying around on your shoulders. Like you don't want to walk around the park with a weighted vest on the whole time. Right? In the middle of the summer heat where it's like 110 degrees, humid. There's many other ways and options and practices that can help you alleviate that stress or that burden that you carry. If you notice that you're gripping your jaw or you're clenching or flexing your toes, relax your toes. The tongue soften inside the mouth. You may start to feel some trembles, some movement through the fascia. Keep the body as relaxed as you can. And we'll observe about 5 more breaths on this side. You can start to allow the shins to slide out of the hands. Hopefully you stayed with me that whole time, and so that you can feel the beautiful rebound as you let your feet come down, uncross your left leg. They might feel like completely different legs at this point. And then stretch your legs long. Relax the toes. Feel the hips. And then set the arms in so that you can relax. Notice even more energy and feelings in your hands and your forearms. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. The arms should feel pretty heavy. And the hips, bend your legs, bring your feet back onto the mat flat. And take your right leg over your left leg this time. Knees come in towards your chest. Left hand grabs onto your right shin. It's right there. And then if you need to lift the head, and again, you may want to put something underneath your head. And so you're not struggling to hold on to your shins. And keep your hips square, shoulders down. And the fingertips curled over the top of the shin. I mean, we're taking so much out of the hands and the wrists and the forearms. And so far tonight, and remember, you're not supposed to just be able to settle. It's not a supposed to kind of a thing. It's not a plan. What you want to watch for is, as you keep the breath natural, if there's a point where you're like, I am settled, There's a point where you realize and that you're sitting in something that you wouldn't have thought you'd be sitting in. And whether it's good or bad, you're still okay to be sitting in it. Let's observe about 5 more breaths on this side. You can gently allow the shins to slide through, out of the hands and out of the fingers. Feet down, uncross your right leg. And let's feel this release. Legs straight. Arms by your sides, palms, and to face up tonight. Go ahead and take a deeper breath. Feel your belly expand. You can bring your arms over your head. Give yourself a full body stretch. Bend your legs, roll onto your right side, and bring yourself around, and so that you're cross-legged and you're seated and facing towards the end of your yoga mat. And if you'd like to put a little something underneath your bum to help tilt your pelvis, and you just kind of lift a little bit. So you're not sitting completely on top of, but you're putting your bum, and you stay onto the edge of a pillow, and so it's helping support and turn your pelvis forward. And then when you're there, bring your hands around in front, and start with the right shin in front of the left shin. And we'll start to come into a forward fold. And So seated, legs crossed, right shin in front of your left shin, and possibly something underneath the bum so that you're rolling your pelvis forward, and then coming into a forward fold, and where possibly you can rest your forearms all the way down onto the ground. Find the place where you can settle if you're still moving or fidgeting, and support yourself more if you need. And then start to settle and become more still.
your elbows, make your way back to your hands. And once you come up halfway, take a deeper breath in, light sigh, and exhale out of your mouth.
And then you can roll yourself all the way up. And take your hands beside your hips if you are sitting on a and stack. Uncross your legs, scoot your bum forward. And then once you get your bum down onto your mat, scoot your bum over to the right and bring both knees down to the left. And keep your outer left thigh heavy and then walk your hands. And so you're turning your chest all the way to the back of your mat. And you can use that stack that you were sitting on and come down onto your left elbow and bring your torso down onto the stack and spread your right elbow and then let your forehead come down and rest on the back of your hands.
Hover your forehead. Walk your elbows back in. Stay long through your spine as you bring your right hand back onto the mat. And then push off of your left elbow to make your way all the way back up to a seat. And once you're seated, remove the stack from behind you, and so that we can lie down and experience in the rebound. And coming out of that modified double pigeon and then the twist. Let's take the arms back over your head. Give yourself a stretch. Bend your legs, please, so your feet are flat. And roll yourself onto your left side this time. And use your right hand, come all the way around, and so that you're back facing an end of your mat, cross-legged seat. Left shin in front of your right shin, and you're welcome to slide a pillow or your stack underneath your bum to tilt your pelvis. You can feel your pelvis going forward. If you're really open, you don't need the pillow at all. This will just help you make your way down onto your forearms. Also, you're welcome to put something underneath your forearms. So find a place where you're feeling the expansion or the awareness of the stretch in your outer hips You might even feel some of this, obviously, in your knees and your ankles and your feet. And then creating this cascade of energy in the forward fold through your spine. And the front of your spine is compressed, the back of your spine is opening up. And start to hover your forehead. Make your way back to your palms to lift halfway. Take a deeper breath here. And then gently you can roll yourself all the way back up to a seat. As you uncross your legs, scoot your bum forward so it's off of your stack. And then start to move your bum over towards the left side of your mat. And so your knees come down to the right. And then we can walk the hands all the way around. And lengthening and twisting right elbow outside the stack or your pillow, and then left elbow, and bring your torso down. Could go all the way to the ground. And then let your forehead release onto the top of your hands, please. We are certainly shedding some layers and exposing some light through these experiences, this detox. It's very easy these days for us to be wearing, not only masks, but like putting clouds in front of our clarity. It's so hard to see through sometimes. With everything that we're feeling, everything that we're facing on a daily basis. your head, make your way back to your elbows. Bring your left hand back to the mat. Use your right elbow to make your way all the way back up. As you release the twist, remove any props, any part of your stack, and we're going to lie down into our final resting pose on a Sunday evening. And go ahead and lay it out. Feeling the space, hopefully, and brought through some moments of or understanding. I remind you, we did quite a bit with the hands tonight. And the weight in the outer hips. It may not feel as heavy. And always nice when you can lie down in a softer belly. Witnessing the calm flow of your breath and perhaps even the stillness of your mind. And let's take the hands, rest them on your heart tonight. Stack one hand on top of the other. And at least we have a way to stay in touch. All of our plans may have been crumbled up thus far, but at least we have a way to stay in touch. We support ourselves, support each other. And take your time here tonight, everyone. When you are ready to go, please proceed mindfully, with patience and with this space into the rest of your evening. I hope to see you tomorrow morning for flow and tomorrow evening and for detox. Have a beautiful rest, everyone. Namaste.